All right, folks, we are back into campaign 19. We are in early 1862. We haven't even hit April 1 yet, and we've already had quite a bit of battling, which is kind of a continuation of 1861. So it looks like we might have our first battle of this episode here around Nashville. Nashville is kind of one of the two keys to winning this campaign on either side. I think it's Richmond first, Nashville second. I think everything else is kind of a sideshow, but we are doing a Union campaign playthrough. If you want the top line, what's going on, we're doing fairly well, though our national support has dropped almost as much as the CSAs, although we haven't been invaded. But we do have an edge in national morale, and a pretty comfortable one at that. So, the three theaters, Eastern, Central, and Western, that's what I'm calling them. Out West was always supposed to be a bit of a snooze fest. As long as we held St. Louis, I was happy. We've actually held Rolla, and we're in the midst of kind of pushing out and trying to gradually push the CSA out of northern Missouri and maybe keep them penned in the south. To that end, there is the 7th Corps out here, and we just raised the 2nd Division of the 7th Corps. There we go. The 7th Corps already existed. They had a 1st Division here, but it was only about half full, so we added the other. It's actually about 40% or so. And so they're going to get mustered up at Quincy, and then we're probably going to push across to St. Joseph, Leavenworth, and we at some point have to regain control of Kansas, if only for role-playing reasons. And then we'll have the 2nd Division coming in behind it. There'll probably be a 3rd Division added at some point, and we'll push through Kansas, Western Missouri, and through, what is this? They call this Indian Territory. It's, all right, not Oklahoma. And we'll kind of just go from there. But as the actual war goes, Eastern Missouri is what matters to us. Kentucky is important to us. First of all, we don't have it, and so we'd like to take it out of the CSA's hands. And it's also a conduit from the core Union states up here to Nashville, which I feel like if we can get Nashville, we can embed ourselves in it, which we've already done, and then hold it against the unwashed hordes we can see down here to the southeast, and the southwest are starting to creep up already on Nashville. They may push us out, but if we can hold Nashville and then use it as a way to push into the deep south, I think that's a good way to go after the CSA's national support and national morale. But some problems in Kentucky. The Corps that's out here, some of it's kind of lost its readiness. It's been battling. It's got other things going on. And its opponents up here in northeast Kentucky appear to be heading into what is now West Virginia, formerly part of Virginia. That intelligence may be wrong. I've modded the intelligence in here to kind of not give you a lot that's correct unless you actually invest in things that give you better intelligence. Anyways, that's me. So I had to make a decision as to whether we actually try to follow this up and see if the CSA has left, or we just kind of assume that it's true and move our forces in down here. Now, related but different, I've raised I haven't named it, but it is the 8th Corps, and I've raised it in Ohio. We had the 1st Division, they're getting mustered. The 2nd Division is also set up to begin mustering in some time, but off camera, because I'm not going to make you sit through that. We'll raise the 3rd Division of the 8th Corps, and they might be able to come in and kind of patrol northeastern or eastern Kentucky, while the other 2 corps kind of embed themselves in around Nashville and get ready to push out either in 1862 or 1863. And then finally back east is probably the best story for us. We beat off an attack here on Stanton, which we were able to embed ourselves in. Actually, before the winter of 61-62 rolled around, CSA tried to recapture it, and we defeated that attempt. I think it was the previous episode in which we did that. And we also have 2 corps here. That is 2 corps here. And just north of Richmond, who might be able to push onto it. We previously captured Richmond, then we lost it. We may be able to recapture it. I don't know. And then, of course, kind of a 4th theater is all the stuff that's going on the water. It's actually a slight update from the previous episode. We took the last East Coast, I believe it's Fort Port that we can take. And so we took Fort Clinch, and that gave us this port here, Fernandina. We're actually using it to get one of our squadrons healthy. We'll use it for the other one. There's also a 3rd combat-ready squadron. It's Atlantic Squadron 3-2. Okay. And they're actually not healthy yet. So we'll see them in action later. but we're kind of just gearing up for the campaign season that is 1862. So that was a very long-winded, as usual, kind of overview as to where things stand. But we are looking to get some battling going on. Now, McDowell has a division. All right, McDowell's division is going to be part of the first course, so he's got to end up over here eventually. But he has readiness issues, which is why we sent him back to Washington. I believe this was months ago, and that should still give us 5 divisions to deal with. But anyways, yeah. All right, so I'm guessing we're borrowing. Yeah, we are borrowing. Good news, I mean, on the economic front, if you've been following the campaign, we have had some economic challenges. Army upkeep has fallen. In 1861, it was almost 400 million. Now it's down to about 200 million. So that's good. We've also done some economic stuff, economic policy stuff in particular, that has improved our credit rate. What you're looking at now is the interest rate, and so as the interest rate declines, that's better for us. If we look at the actual credit rating as it rises, that's good for us. And so the CSA was actually ahead of us for quite some time, but we've managed to snag back our lead. So on a lot of the metrics that might portend who's going to end up winning a campaign, we're sitting pretty. And now we just got to go ahead and push. So I don't know whether folks like campaign stuff or they don't. I used to think they don't, and then when I didn't show, people complained. And so I was like, oh, I can't believe that people like campaign, which kind of feels like, I don't know, maybe watching paint dry. But apparently it was better than that, or at least some of it was better than that. And so I'll keep you in here if you want to skip ahead to the battle. Well, I didn't time that. I didn't time that. I can't imagine that they're actually not going to give us a division to fight. Where is this? Interesting. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to hop in here and see if they actually give us our first division. A lot of times when all you have is an HQ, but there's no actual combat troops, they'll kind of just give you combat troops to fight. But I don't know if they always do. By they, I mean the developers of the game. It's odd because both those reinforcements should have showed up at the same time. So if they give us both, it's kind of unfair to the CSA or the AI. But if they don't give us any, we're kind of really up a creek, and it doesn't make for very interesting battling because, yeah. Well, we'll see what we get. All right, so sure enough, they've given us, what, 1 division? Oh, and we get to defend on this one. So that's pretty good. 14 engineering points. I don't know why we're kind of map moving so slowly. CSA is going to come in from over here. We got to go over here. See, the actual Copper Town, this is kind of a generic map, is actually, I think, pretty good because they got stone walls over here. And they got stone walls over here, but it's not really on the way to anything. Not in this map that matters. I mean, if you're going to go out here, I guess you could try a really long flank to get over here. But it's really the 5-pointer that decides who gets to defend, and we would certainly like that to be us. I do see a stone wall up here. I see some forest. I see some fencing around it. I see trees. This might be where we end up making our stand. I'm not going to force y'all to watch that like with some other... Oh, wait, is this all stone wall too? This is all stone wall, but they have to come to me. But we'll see what we do here in terms of defense, and then I'll show you what I got. All right, so we are all set up, and what I've elected to do is to have Ellsworth's brigade make use of the stone wall that's already here. Mansfield's brigade got a pretty nice set of parapets here. The real reason they're here is if the... let's just hit play and see what the CSA does. What if CSA comes in this way and tries to use the forest and then the fence here to flank this position? We have a group here that's ready to hit them in the side. I was debating whether it makes sense to put Baker in the woods or just keep him in reserve. I guess we'll wait and see what... Oops, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. I decided to move him up only because it might be difficult to kind of rush over here through the woods and take a good position. I think we're going to have Baker kick out skirmishers. I kind of debated actually keeping Ellsworth's brigade back here at the fence and just having the skirmishers use the stone wall. But I think we probably want the important parts actually embedded on the stone wall. So that's why I've done it this way. We might be able to put Mansfield skirmishers up here, at least in the forest on the stone wall, to give them the cover bonus that comes from that. But for right now, we're hanging out waiting for our second division. Until then, it should be about 50-50 in terms of numbers. You can see that that's more or less the story. The CSA has a morale advantage, but they have to come to us. And so we're going to be collecting victory points until they do that. And we're going to send, how do I pronounce this? DeCourcy? DeCourcy's cav out to find the CSA. I'm guessing my reinforcements might come in from here. Which is not terrible and it's not great either, depending on how far up the CSA moves. The further up they move, the better this is. The less far up they move, the worse it is, and it is 2:30 in the afternoon here, so we'll see how things go. But the idea would be if the CSA comes up and tries to push into this, we can have the second division swing around and hit them in the backside as they come in. But that may still not happen. All right, let's switch to Corsi back to evade. If nothing happens here, I'm going to put you back on pause because again, why watch and have the proverbial paint dry here? But I don't think we need to move skirmishers up yet. We kind of know what we want to do when it is time. I am putting it on 20x in terms of the speed. I haven't actually found a problem with it when you do that. There was okay, no, we don't want to do that. We want to Corsi, the parent unit. Want them to come back. And we could probably come up on the stone wall and kind of bully the CSA. Hey, because then they can't use the road. They're going to get shot the whole time that they try to use the road, and that's not going to go well for them. But I kind of want them to come up and challenge the point. If they don't come up and challenge the point, they got to come through the field this way, try to link up to the road, and then, but even capturing the 2-pointer, it doesn't give them 5 points. And we should have the inside track to beating them there. So I'm pretty happy to stay with this as it is. And just wait and see what the CSA comes up with. I think we can pretty carefully. I think we can pretty confidently move these skirmishers up. See, you're probably already on the fence. Yeah, you already are on the fence. You're not, but why not push up anyhow? Are you good? Okay, you're on the creek. You're on the creek as well. All right. Wait, you're on the creek? There's no way that's true, but it is. Who knew? And yet, that parent unit is not. Maybe we'll just move the 1 regiment back so that it's getting its force cover. But yeah, that's probably the best we're going to hope to do. We'll speed it up a bit. See what path they take. 20x. Got 2 cav regiments. I think the plan is to start bringing DeCourcy back into the right. I don't need him all the way up there to tell me if they come this way. My skirmishers should be able to see that. But I also don't want to lose them. All right, so they're going to pull cav over there. Huh. All right, we'll give our cav that direction as well. We'll move Reynolds back because we don't need him that far forward. If we are going to get folks that come in over here on our left, we might as well move Given up, who's in overall corps command. Yeah, that's Halstead skirmishers. I don't know if we'll be able to get them up there. We may not. I thought, as positioning went, I thought that this artillery had a decent time here. They would get fence bonus, and they would have a pretty open field with not too many friendlies in front of them. All right, we see some CSA coming down. Don't know what's up here. Corsi. Guess we'll move out on the left. I could probably put him back in the, what is this called? The Sweetwater River. I probably could, but We're not there yet. Okay, some are coming for the stone wall, but it could all be a juke. Huh. Okay, we're gonna collect the Corsi scouts because I want to put him in. I want to dismount and put him in loose formation and march him up towards Fork. Okay. Do that, do that. And push him up there, and then we'll also take a look at the battlefield here. Should just be skirmishers doing skirmisher things here. We can pull you back. Pull you back.
Anytime now, men.
And that sounds like it's off to the right. Yeah, that's my skirmishers up here. They have... Am I missing a group of skirmishers here? You're huh. I don't know. Some more and the rebels will surely run. I think because stone walls are so good, we're just going to go ahead and move them up. Based on what it looks like the AI is doing here, we're going to move that reinforcement over there. We're going to move you here. So we are paring back some of the reinforcements we might have had. Kenley, you can recall your skirmishers. They've done the thing. Gates is down. He should be in loose formation. The AI rarely goes in loose formation. Ah, I see. Yeah, so they get routed anyways. It's fine. I do want to try to put a herding on that cav if I can. I guess they don't want to stay in loose formation, but what do I know? The artillery is barking. That's a good thing for us. You can see... So their cav definitely has a numerical advantage. Hopefully we're down and loose and in the creek before they are. We're going to help their cav again and put them in loose formation. Did we not get the creek? Oh, we did. I think I'm going to push Delafield up. Try to shoot them. Huston Jr. doesn't look like he's long for this map. That happens. Here we beat back one cav regiment. The other one is on its way in. Langton Smith, also the name of a famous anti-federalist, killed different Langton Smith, but by famous anti-federalist, I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but you know what I meant. That's end of day. Again, we don't actually know that that's where they are. I would gladly take DeCourcy and put him back here. I don't need him out. Don't really want him out. Looks like we're gonna lose our skirms if we keep them too forward deployed. So we'll pull them back. It's better than losing them. You know, we'll probably just pull them back inside, and probably end up recalling them to the parent unit. We have 6 engineering points. I don't feel like spending them. I feel like we have a pretty solid position. I think the battle's going our way. It's even. It's even before our reinforcements have arrived. So I'm going to go ahead and play. Yeah, we're going to recall those skirms because they keep the parent units, the regiments, from shooting. And those parent units can throw way more lead. So. Okay, we'll reform facing that way. Minty, let's see, where's your parent unit? You might be over here. Yeah, you are. Alright, we'll get you lined up with your people. Who's this, Huston Jr.? Yeah, we'll get you back with your people, too. And the Cav. The Cav might need some morale support here. No, I didn't mean to click that. I meant to click something else, but I don't remember what it was. I think it had to do with making sure the Cav were double clicking. Oops. Halstead. Yeah, we'll get those skirmishers back. Okay, McGavock doesn't like what he sees or what he's feeling. Van Wyck is, well, you can see what Van Wyck is. I think we're gonna maneuver that Van Wyck over there, Whitaker up there. This looks like the vedettes. Whoa, look at that flag wave. Yeah. And so the big crash here is around the center. I don't know why Ward's skirmishers don't want to reattach, but they don't. Wow, what a disappointing... Oh, this problem again. So I think this happens after you click one of these things. It takes away the bottom right hand timer. So you can speed it up manually with the keyboard, but that's the only way. And sometimes even that doesn't work and you kind of have to exit and re-enter. I think it might bring us back in around this point or the beginning of this day of the battle. That would kind of be a bummer. I'm going to put it on pause in case it keeps us here way longer than it should, but one way or the other, I'll bring you back. Alright, yeah, we had to reload. So the enemy, 222 killed, us 38 killed, because we never really got around to building prison camps. Whoa, we got to kick on lossless scaling. We're a little slow. Anyways, that should be better. And, yeah, Mina wins a win. It was an odd attack, I think. I guess it had to have come from down here since we're holding Rolla. I thought there used to be a fort out here at Rolla. It was a supply depot and a fort. I don't know, this is the summer scenario. Western Division is heading towards Lion. It's fine. I don't know why Reynolds Division here is or believes it's out of supply, but I did have a plan to push up here and try to capture, liberate Jefferson City. Smith will bring you up as well. It might be a 2-division thing. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going on here. At least until the 7th Corps appears ready to move and assume control maybe of northern and western Missouri. That's what we'll do. Western Division under Robert E. Lee. Well, it's a little unfortunate that we can't just, like you have attack orders you can issue on... What? Who has low morale? It's a regiment, apparently. Numbers are pretty even. I mean, we can't walk away from the fight. It's not when the numbers are that even. We'll see what we get here, but yeah, I didn't think Missouri was going to be this kind of a battlefield here. But it is, it is in the CSA in this modified playthrough. And it's probably a big source of recruits. And certainly having my forces in it saps the support for the Confederacy. I don't think it's hurting me because it's not a Union aligned state. We're just trying to reassert federal authority here. So anyways, we'll see how this goes. If we got to attack or defend. So it's not the map we had before. It looks like a meeting engagement because it is a meeting engagement. And we can either try the road around to Bald Mountain, or we can just try to march up and over the actual mountain. So we could line up here and just march to the mountain. I'm going to go on the road. And I'm going to do all that off camera so you don't have to see it, but I'll bring you back in when I'm done. I really wanted them to take the roads, and they really did not want to take the roads. So I guess they know better than I do. And when it rains, they might as well just run over the mountain here. But it appears defensible. I mean, considering that we it's only 3 objective points, so we're not going to get a ton of help here from them. This is nice to hold, but with the numbers we have, we can't then cover this crossing. The CSA pushes up in force here. They might actually get the jump on us and then get up to this point. So I think we'll probably just hold on the back side of this field. I mean, it's early in the morning. We're here to try to get the cap and get some early objective points. But you can see what I can see, which is that this is not going to be quick or easy. When we do arrive, we're likely going to arrive in terrible condition, and we're just going to have to dig in and hope for the best. In terms of cover, I see the stone wall there, but I don't know. Unless we're going to do a little bit of a forward defense, I don't see the ability to make use of it. And then the other side, we get to use fences, which is still something. I don't know. I feel like given that we're probably going to be exhausted and disorganized, we probably shouldn't overreach. I am going to send out Shriver here. I'm going to send him out to see what he can see. And I'm going to send him this way since it looks like it's the more direct route. We got to get Lion up near him if he can. We can speed this up because we know it's just... Oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. They're here already? Alright. Alright. It's not going to reach in time. I know that. But I got to try something here. I think if we put these guys... We try to dismount them, they should move slowly. Yeah, this is just going to be rough. There's no way around it. How big is Harper? Okay, Harper's got almost 400. Yeah. Oh, you know what I could do from Corcoran? I could kick out skirmishers and try to have them engage the cav. They're going to lose, but it's fine. But have them stop. You have got to be kidding me. How on earth? Ugh. Whatever. That's fine. Yeah, it was a really awkward start here. I mean, maybe we can just order Shriver. Look, as he comes up the road, maybe we can just have him engage. The cav. So the cav over there now. And what I really want from Corcoran is just that he pulls back to the tree line. That would be fine. Okay, Shriver's there. That's okay. We're going to get you down now, and what we're going to do is we're going to park these guys in the woods. As much as I would love to bail out Corcoran, I think that's going to have to be the best movement that they're going to get. Man, Stockton's in bad shape. Haskins' artillery is not great. Neil is going to arrive too late and frankly out of position to probably be of much help. You know, the same is probably true for De Villiers. Now that I look at them, we really have to try to concentrate in the woods and the slight uphill that we have up here and hope that does it. Can we stick you guys? That's the nice thing about skirms is that they can actually move pretty quickly. But we could put them on the stone wall and have them lay down and maybe that'll be enough. Okay, we got to give new marching orders here to... Gotta try to give new marching orders. I guess not. I guess we haven't canceled the old ones yet. Okay, we have for them. Put them there. I mean, at a certain point we can just stop them, but we don't have to do it this second. I do see this. Yeah, honestly, Corcoran skirmishers, you just got to get down and just try to tank as much of that as you can. Villiers, we don't need you going over there. Neil, yeah, you can go over there. I did not realize how many of our troops are just in pretty terrible condition. Yeah, the rest of these can keep moving up. I'm not going to worry more about them. And let's see, Corcoran is part of what now? So he's part of De Villiers. So we'll just let them keep marching up and yeah, this is not going to go well for Corcoran skirmishers. There's just no way. And it's all going to be on Shriver here pretty soon. Oh my goodness. Alright. We don't need you moving up there, so we're going to order you to stop. We're going to order you to stop. There's some... You guys are somewhat spread out, so we're going to order you to stop. You guys have to keep moving. There's not much artillery. This is not looking good here. Okay, we'll have Corcoran lay down. Should be in the woods. Yeah, he's in the woods. I don't know where you're going, Corcoran. You're okay there. You guys not got the order to stop? Feel like we gave it to you. Okay, you guys need to come up here. And you guys can join them. Because right now, that's what we got going on. Alright, if you can't play well, you might as well have fun, right? Well, I'll say right. Yeah, disrupted, exhausted, it's... I don't expect this to go well, but I don't want them going over there. So, we're just going to give them attack orders like that. All right. You're moving there, that's fine. You're all kind of moving eventually, I guess. I don't know. Yes, sort of. Alright, Corcoran looks like he's gonna break. Which is unfortunate because they do have nice plains rifles. Oh my goodness. And the CSA found a way to get up here? You gotta be kidding me, dude. You've got to be kidding me. Okay. You can face that. Corcoran, you have done fine work. This is not your fault. Alright, we really gotta try to bring you guys up here. Not a real order, that's just a we're gonna come up and shoot at these guys order. Oh, rough. We're gonna break. He may or may not be back. He's also almost through his lost resilience, so Maybe we just need him to blunt this attack. Shriver's done well. Shriver has done well. I would like to get Klotz out of there if I can. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. My goodness, man. Ugh. I'm gonna have them halt just because they're very tired. It's not gonna get much better, frankly. We'll have you halt. You halt. Rough. I don't know if I would believe all that. I would say at this point, why don't you hold? Because you're not going to gain anything new up there. Right? You're just not. Alright, we'll try that. We'll bring these guys back here. Try to rally. Pull back that command. And we'll grant you all a rest and try to get you to reform a little bit. Okay, we'll throw Shriver's Cav in here again. How are you guys doing? I understand what you're trying to do. It's what I ordered you to do, but we gotta try to get a little bit organized here. Okay, you broke, but you may or may not come back. Shriver, we actually don't. Yeah, if there's nobody up there, we might as well just pull you back. It was a fine try. There you go. Okay, let's get you to halt. You can halt. Now, can these guys get their morale up any higher? Okay, so Fighting Spirit's going to be capped at 63, but that's still pretty good. Yeah, you guys got to move, man. Okay, try to reform, try to reform. Okay. My goodness, guys. Rally on the colors.
Keep it steady now.
I guess you guys are just gonna keep going. It's actually a nice little hill to look down, but I think we're gonna try to do better than that. Not the sound I was hoping to hear. Okay, we'll pull you back. You already ran? Okay. Let's pull 2nd Brigade HQ back. Let's pull you guys back because you are pretty small. We'll have you form up here. You know what? My goodness, you are dedicated to moving to that point. You know what? I'll take it. It's something. It's fighting. Okay, you can try to rally down there. You guys probably gonna want to turn around soon. Where's Lion? Okay. Needs to pull back. Okay, maybe we need to lay down. Alright. Burn broke. Slayback looks like he's about to break. Alright. They broke as well. Alright, so let's use this opportunity here to roll that cannon back, or that battery back. I have my cav kind of where it shouldn't be, which is in the center. Move that artillery back into the woods. Do the same here. I mean, if they really want an artillery duel, I guess we can do that, but I don't feel a need to at the moment. Alright, can we speed this up and see if there's any combat here? Otherwise, looks like maybe they're reforming out into this field. I don't know. Alright, so Carter's brigade is there. Yeah, we're gonna... Alright, let's get together. Sure. We'll do that. Alright. Looks like there's a little bit of a push going on, so let's go check out the push. Okay, you all... Oh, I see what you're doing, alright. You know what? I don't know if you guys are gonna get out of there fast enough. Alright, just try to hit them, I guess. What else can you do? Okay, they didn't like what they were feeling. That's good. Come on, Carter. I think we're basically sacrificing these batteries. If they cannot defend themselves, we're gonna have to just kind of let them go. Okay, we'll move you there, and we'll move you there. Alright, but they're backing up. Even if they were backing up and shooting at us, they were backing up. That was the good news. That's what we like as artillery, because we can still hit them. If only we could see them, right? Okay. Those skirmishers? Yeah, those are skirmishers. Oh, looks like we got some of the dudes in the HQ there. That had to be fun. Can't believe those guys don't have shots. Bring that around. Okay, if you don't actually have anything to do, here, we're gonna bring you down there. Old Slocum, that was a bit rough. But wait, there's more. It looks like Slocum and others have received orders to move out. Not take this fight. Yeah, it's turned too far against them. I did not think we were going to pull that one back. I don't know why, but I guess it was... The only thing that kind of kept me going is thinking, man, if they made it this far, that fast, unless they started really far forward, they might be a little spread out. And they might be exhausted from doing all that. So one or both of those turned out to be true, I think, or they just had bad morale, even if it wasn't exhaustion, but... Oh boy. Alright, that felt good. Hopefully Line doesn't get engaged again soon. I'd love to know why the unit, which really hasn't moved much in 4 months, is having morale issues. Especially since there's a supply depot right there, and they're at the end of a railroad. I mean, I know they're in enemy territory, but those other factors, I would think, should keep it well supplied, right? I would think, so. What do I know? But that might end up doing it for this episode. We're going to check out Final Casualties here and see if we have anything else to do, but we're coming up on the 60-minute mark, and we could end up with a really long battle that just carries us on and on and on, and as much fun as that is, I think we'll probably head out while we still have most people's attention, if they've made it this far. Battle of Rolla. Alright, we didn't get stuck at 98% reloading. That's good. So for them, 182 killed. For us, 50 killed. Yeah, that's good. I mean... So, yeah. A lot of time in Missouri here. Alright. Alright, Tillman's Cav, quote-unquote, division of 294 men, I guess met up with Smiths and decided they didn't want to stick around. Makes sense. Deering's division, I think they're the ones that we beat earlier. I hope they're the ones we beat earlier. Yeah, like, the supply situation's good. Morale? The Missouri Light Artillery is unhappy. 2 of my batteries and my cavalry are unhappy. Unhappy with their officers. Hello. Fighting spirit on enemy terrain. Maybe that's part of the problem. We have to kind of get our... we got to get our experience up so that we're more comfortable fighting on enemy terrain. So that'll be something that probably only comes with time and, yeah, combat experience. Over here, Burns is finally up to a little bit of readiness. Yeah, again, if any of this is actually true, it's probably good for us and good for the CSA that they're able to pull out. Did we plop down? Yeah, we did plop down a 2nd division there. So I think I'll put the 3rd division. I'll get around to renaming the Army of Ohio the 8th Corps? Whatever I said it was earlier in this episode. Get around to doing that shortly. Off camera. So it'll probably be like 5 episodes. But at some point I'll get around to doing it. Are we okay? Hold on here. Hold on here. Let's get out of scouting. Just try to make sure the rest of us aren't in scouting. And maybe it looks like the CSA wants their capital back for some reason. And John Pelham is leading that attack. I don't understand this. So I think this is indicative of, I mean, I'll load in, right? But I think this is indicative of the problem I talked about. I don't know if it was this episode or I've talked about it in several episodes in this campaign. It's not because of the regimental scale, but I think you see it more with the divisions moving around separately on the map. The AI just has problems concentrating on the campaign map, right? It can have the forces maybe in the theater to get to a tactical battle where they might have the numerical advantage or it'd be close. But for some reason, they can't quite time it out to be able to do that. And so when that happens, it creates problems below it and above it. So below it, it creates battles like this one, where the AI is hopelessly outnumbered. I think 2-1, I think at this point in the war is pretty hopelessly outnumbered. I don't know if I'm defending or not. That might matter, but that's that. And then at the higher level than that ability to kind of concentrate within theater is that since the AI ends up losing these battles because they go in so outnumbered, it doesn't really matter where they shift around troops to. And they keep losing battles, so they lose territory. They're losing men because I'm able to put more out that are firing than they have. So it kind of spirals. And I'm not sure I have a solution. Undoing the regimental campaign, I don't think would change that. Look, to their benefit here, they at least got me with my least favorite map, so that's something. But it looks like 3 3-pointers and a 5-pointer. And so I think holding any 2 points. No, it's not true. Sometimes holding 2 points, and other times you'll have to hold 3 points to have the majority in this one. But this would be one where I would think numbers would really, really matter. The CSA, they're going to come in over here. So I think we'll probably just send some cavalry out to try to capture that. But I would think to defend here, we'll move up the division we have. But my early thinking, we'll fight this battle in the next episode because it's, it's at Chancellorsville, it's a wilderness, it's going to take a while. Is that get out of that swamp, Palmer. No? Get over there. Come on, there you go. We detach Cav to take the 5-pointer, and then we try to defend a line basically right where my mouse cursor is. So we're in the woods on the overlooking a little bit of open ground. I think this is also high ground or relative high ground here. You see it kind of slopes down in the woods there. And then we just wait for our numbers, and we should be fine. We have 38 engineering points. I'm probably not going to use them just because they're not really in places that I can use them, right? This is a wooded road. This is like the backside of a wooded road crossing thing. I don't feel like doing that. But I am going to press play so the battle starts, and that way we shouldn't have any weirdness when we load into it next time. But yeah, it'll be a reinforcement race. I think given that this is starting at about 2:30 in the afternoon on this map, probably means we should get some reinforcements overnight, and we'll send Wilson out and see if he can capture that point before that happens. But we'll find out the answers to all these in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. I enjoyed this one, and I hope to have you back for the next one.